Well, well, dummy thick Walter White here. It's been a while since you've seen my beautiful face, huh? Yeah, I've been busy. But what have I been up to these past couple of months? Well, believe it or not, despite the ravaging that COVID-19 has been doing, I have been working with my theater company to bring a live performance into the Philadelphia Fringe. It's been taking up a lot of my time, pretty much all of my time on the weekends and all my free time after work, but I think it's well worth it, and the show is coming along quite nicely. I mentioned many months ago that I was going into a show that was a mix of the worlds of Edgar Allan Poe and Charles Dickens. Well, this is more or less a prequel of the show that we were doing previously, but it's actually a sequel to some other shows that we have done before. It's a little bit confusing, but I'll put a link on our website so you can catch up. After COVID-19 had pretty much ravaged the United States as it did, our theater company got together and we had decided that we were going to still perform in the Philadelphia Fringe, giving the absolute best show that we possibly can, following all rules and regulations and guidelines, which of course is to keep us and the audience safe. So the show itself is not a traditional theater show. It's what's called immersive theater. Now, normally when people say immersive theater, they think something like a haunted house or like the Bates Motel, something along those lines, where you walk into a scene and walk out. Not quite what we do. What we do is we normally would engage with the audience, physically bringing them into the scene, but they don't play an active role. This isn't like some dinner theater where you can decide what the ending is or who the killer is. No. Set rules, set plot. You just come and enjoy the atmosphere. Which this year we are performing at the West Laurel Hill Cemetery, which is absolutely gorgeous. So the show itself does separate from the Edgar Allan Poe ties that we had previously. There are still subtle undertones and a few characters do reappear, which I won't spoil. But we really are focusing more on the world of Charles Dickens. It's not the Dickens you know, so while there are references to A Christmas Carol and Great Expectations, they're not quite exactly the same. It's a much more supernatural twist than Charles Dickens stories normally would get. And as I said, this is really more of a setup for the shows that we do have coming into the future. So if you are looking for something to do, please feel free to go ahead and join us at the show. Now, just to make you aware, audience will be at least 20 feet away from all performers, and will be at least 6 feet away from each other. We've done the measurements, so we have the spaces lined out nicely. It is outside in the West Laurel Hill Cemetery, so if you do decide to come, I'd recommend bring a chair, something nice to sit in. Masks are required as well. One thing that I think is most important about this show, especially now, is just trying to keep theater and keep art alive in these difficult times. Not just with COVID-19, but around the political climate that we currently live in. The show itself is not politically charged by any means, so we're not trying to send some sort of message. It really is more of art for the sake of art. And I think that that's when it's at its most beautiful. Also, the name of the show is Illimitable Dominion. Try saying that 3 times fast. And thank you guys so much for sticking around. I do hope to see you at the show, and if you do come say hi. I hope you really enjoy it. A lot of very talented actors have been putting their hearts and souls into this performance over the past few months, and we really are hoping that we put on something entertaining and that everyone can get something out of. I will say, though, the shows do run a little bit late. Our first show does not start till 8 o'clock. Our second show does not start until 9:30 or thereabouts. So it can run late. The material's not necessarily appropriate for children. Nothing incredibly graphic because it is still a live show, but there could be some minor disturbing images that children might find offensive. But if you're looking for something to do and you're looking to keep the arts alive in these trying times, why don't you come on down? We'd be more than happy to see you. And just from the bottom of my heart, thank you as well. Well, I gotta get back to working on all this theater stuff. Thank you guys so much. I will try to be more consistent once the theater shows die down, and I will see you guys in the next one. Dummy thick Walter White out.